What's up, everybody? It's your boy Bigger T with my man Big C. How you doing, man?
Man, fantastic. Just couldn't possibly be better.
Well,
If I
last
could, I
week,
would. Yeah.
Clint, we did our picks for our offense for our fantasy Razorback fantasy offense, going back to Houston Nut days. Okay, we didn't
Yeah.
go back before that. We had some good feedback from some of our friends and some folks we text with and stuff like that. We'll talk about who they thought won later, but
Yeah, later.
still, it was a lot of fun doing that. And so this week we're going to do our defense, and we're going to talk about some other stuff, the Razorbacks, of course. But I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's get it done.
Let's go, man. Kick it, Sean Michelle.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Ever seen a blind man see? I promise you a change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change his
What's up, everybody? How's it going? It's your boy, Bigger T, with my man Big C, for the Hawg Slop podcast with Big C and Bigger T.
Yeah,
How
there
you
you go.
doing, man? Welcome to the Slop House.
Man, well, it's always great to be in the slop house.
All right.
I'm getting used to the name, the slop house. But
That's
anyway,
right.
no, it's fantastic. Life is going good. If I was any better, I'd be twins, as the kids say.
And we couldn't take
I
that,
don't
could we?
I was sitting here, I'm thinking these kids these days, they have these weird sayings like skizzy toilet riz. I don't know what it means,
Yeah, I
Travis.
don't know what that means either.
I know what it means, and I was annoyed with it. And then I saw a meme about Pauly Shore. I'm like, all right, you kids go
That's right. Yeah.
on. Like you wheezing on my gig.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Like
right.
yeah. I'd be like, yeah, okay. Like annoyed, like, why don't they kids just talk normal? We grew up watching Pauly Shore, so I can't
Now,
say
are you as excited as I am to see him play Richard Simmons in the biopic?
no, that would be good. That
You
man,
know, he's been lobbying for that for a long time,
yeah.
but I think Richard Simmons was holding it back. But now that Richard Simmons has passed on, I wonder if his family's going to okay it,
I
or
hope so
whoever,
because I think
his people.
Polly would kill it. I do remember, not to completely change the subject. I remember I was watching the one that actually inspired us to start this podcast on the Comedy Store, and this Polly Shore going up there goes, "Well, I guess you can see I didn't take the college route."
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know, I've seen some interviews with him and he really wants to do that. Like, and he's taking it serious. Like
yeah,
he's done some video of how he would play Richard Simmons, I think, or he's married. I done some
yeah.
already done some video and like already like sent it to Richard Simmons, a long time ago and was like, please let me do this. Like he's wanting to do it to kind of prove he's got acting chops and stuff like that, and not do his silly. Anyway, sorry, we're not.
Will the world end if Polly Shore wins an Oscar?
It might just happen.
Would that be
We might just all get sucked into a black hole if that
like I
happens.
mean everything, all the crazy crap that's going on in the world
Yeah.
today,
Like that'll be the final straw.
that would be the final straw. Pauly
That's
Shore
right.
wins Oscar.
We'll all
The,
finally just
like
go
the
down the
entire planet
wormhole.
Earth gets sucked up into a black hole.
That's right.
So
Interstellar would be true.
yeah, it'd be awful.
We're gone. Well, man, you having a good week? Things going well for you?
Man, yeah, I mean, not man, it's that time of year. There's just not a lot going on. Um, been watching a little bit of Team USA basketball. They are in their exhibition games. They're getting by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
The skin of their teeth. LeBron looking like LeBron, but who knows?
There's a lot of talk about if Kevin Durant should even be on the team or not. I guess he's hurt,
Yeah.
and they're thinking he's just don't know if he's going to be But his type of game usually does well you'd think in a
Well,
international play. So
the dream team was brought about for two different reasons. Number one, to show the world who daddy is at basketball.
yeah.
And then number two was to expand the game internationally. And by taking our top stars and putting them in the international game, by putting Jordan and Magic and Bird and all those guys out there, Pippen, Stockton, Malone. I mean, I can go on and on.
Do you
But
remember who
that,
the leading scorer for that team was?
well, I don't know who it was, but I want to say it's not Stockton, but I think Stockton for some reason in my head.
It was Barkley.
But yeah.
Barkley was the leading scorer for the Dream Team.
Well, dude, I love hearing that story about that scrimmage that original Dream Team had where they were just, it was back and forth and they were just talking like, y'all can have Leitner. We don't want him.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they didn't care much about him. That guy was as useless of a position as
well,
anybody. Which, if you're going to put somebody in a useless position, Christian Leitner's a good candidate for that. He's a good person to put in that position.
I do like that Christian Leitner appreciates being Christian Leitner now.
Yeah, that's
right.
Like
he understands who he was and what he was.
Yeah.
And that I Hate Christian Leitner documentary they did on ESPN was fantastic too. I don't know if you saw it.
Well, Clint, I saw that. Some of the biggest news in sports that we didn't talk about last week, and you can talk about better than I can because you're experiencing it, but is something that men our age has gone back to their college days over. NCAA football is back. Goodness.
It is back.
And men our age are missing work. They're staying up all night, completing their seasons. They're posting about how Arkansas is doing and winning national championships.
They've just won
three. How's Arkansas doing?
Well, they won three back to back to back.
Oh, good.
Actually, here's one feature I do like about this game is, you can start off as an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator.
Mm.
And then, play a season and then get hired on as an offensive coordinator somewhere. And then, of course, I told you, I think I told you, it's like, you discover which teams you really hate by how bad you beat them.
Yeah.
And I really hate Missouri now. I blame Eli Drinkwitz. Like, I despise Missouri. Like,
yeah.
And I hate y'all. I hate y'all with all my heart. And I hope y'all lose every game in every sport.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I wish for you. And by the way, you lost 83-7 the other night.
Oh, good.
Missouri.
Good.
So yeah.
Good.
Took out some frustration.
Well, I haven't played it. I have a PlayStation 3, but I don't.
I was thinking, you have a PS2?
It just kind of takes up space on the my TV stand.
You got the box big screen version of PlayStations.
And I bought a PlayStation 3 like after the PlayStation 4s came out. I bought it from somebody selling it on Marketplace just so I could have it. And mainly I bought it when I was a youth pastor, so when kids would come over and hang out at my house so they could play with it, because I found it with a lot of games. And then also I got it so I could play DVDs or Blu-rays on it because I didn't have a Blu-ray player at the time.
No,
that's the only reason I got it.
Yeah.
And I don't use either of those. So it's just
no, it's a lot of fun. I do like the kids. They have their names on it. I think gave them $600 in advance copy of the game. Now here's the thing. Here's where I do feel good. Look, I'm a 48-year-old man who basically paid $70 for a game to play as a teenage boy. I did that.
Yeah.
So I did it. But I've also bought. I didn't buy the more expensive version because you could pay like $100 instead of 70 and pay it a whopping 3 days early.
Really?
I didn't do that. So, but a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
A lot of people did, and I refused to do that. So
yeah.
I started playing it on Friday when it came out. and I'm enjoying the game.
Was the gameplay similar to the old one? I mean, is it,
Yeah, it's real
because that's,
similar.
to me, NCAA football, I like the gameplay better than Madden.
Yeah,
You know, the gameplay was a little different. There was, I mean, unless you played both, you didn't really notice. But I mean, if you played both, you noticed the gameplay on NCAA was different than Madden.
now it has the greatest feature and the greatest update I've seen them make in the game in ages.
What's that?
And I'm going to tell you what it is right now. Because I'm the type of guy when it's time to take a knee, I'm going to take a knee. When the game's over, even on video games, I'm going to take the knee. I'm not going to run it up. So when you take a knee and they have no way to stop the clock, instead of having to do it 3 times, it just runs the clock out.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Just boom, it's done.
Nice.
It just fast. It was like, yeah. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, that, you know, for somebody like me that has no patience. So I think the gameplay is a lot better, and I'm really enjoying it. And if Santanga and Luke Haas and Taylon Green do as good as they did, it's going to be a great year, boys. Great year.
Well, in other Razorback news, last week was SEC Media Days, and Sam Pittman, you know, when we did the episode last week, they hadn't spoken yet. But Sam Pittman, Andrew Armstrong, Landon Jackson, and Taylon Green were the representatives. And Clint, I watched all 3 of them, pretty much almost everything they did. First of all, you gotta love those guys, man. Every one of them handled themselves so well down there. And by the way, Landon Jackson's suit was on point. He said he got it made when he got it made when he got his wedding suit made. That the guy that made his wedding suit said, "Hey, I can make you another suit for, you know, like football stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." So anyway, it was pretty sweet. But yeah, man, they first of all, hearing Landon and Andrew talk about, and I know you wanted to bring this up, talk about Taylon Green.
Yeah.
And hearing Sam Pittman talk about him. He's just different.
Yeah. There's a different vibe around the team. There really, really is. A team's got to be close. They've got to want to play for each other. They got to want to win for each other. And it all starts with the quarterback position and having a guy you want to stand in front of. And if you read between the lines, it's like, you know, there's not a bigger KJ Jefferson fan than me. And I don't, but it seemed like KJ lost the team a little bit. And if you look, I think Taylon Green's coming in, he's doing the right things. I saw a picture on Instagram, but it's him, Carmona, and a couple other teammates, and they're like look like a fair festival, something like that. And they're
had like a rodeo or something. Yeah,
like a rodeo or something like that. I couldn't tell what they were, but he's hanging out. And I called you on. I'm like, man, you didn't really see that with KJ. Especially once Traylon left. Like it's like him and Traylon were boys, and then Traylon left, and then like it was like, well, he didn't really have any close friends on the team. And so you see him, you know, you see Taylon Green, you see him at a baseball game with Ledbetter, you see him out with the teammates. And just the overall vibe and the feel of the team just seems a lot better. And I think I even got it with Carmona. Like it just seemed like the energy around him and around this team's just different. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to go out there. We'll do a prediction score, and I think the show, and I think 8 games is going to be a good season for them guys if they can do it.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it'd be a great year, but especially with that schedule. But it's the SEC. That schedule is always going to look like that.
Yeah.
You're never going to go into a year going like, "Woo, that's an easy schedule." It ain't. It's just not going to happen.
Well, and when we interviewed Carmona, that was one of the things he talked about. He said Green is always with somebody different, and that speaks a lot for him. That means he's getting to know lots of guys on the team. But also at SEC Media Days, you heard Pittman talk, you heard Landon Jackson talk. They were talking about Green. But then when they were talking about the attitude around this team and the difference, the closeness this team is, another name that they mentioned that has brought a difference was Carmona. Landon Jackson talked about how he's brought a lot of leadership and a lot of life and a lot of brotherhood. And we could see that in our interview with him. I mean, he was so easy for us to talk to and get along with. And you know he's going to be like that in the locker room with people too.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so I think
go ahead.
in their transfers, they've gotten people like that, it sounds like, that are guys that are just good dudes, man. They're just good guys.
Well, I think amongst position groups too, because you practice a team, but you also practice more as position groups, like the offensive line will be out to do that, and you need a leader amongst the groups. And I don't know if the offensive line had a leader last year. I think before that, it was Stromberg was the leader on the offensive line.
Yeah.
And I think that may have got lost when he graduated and they didn't have one last year. And I think you can see that with Carmona, like where he's going to be the guy. Um, so I'm really excited about this season. I think it's going to be a lot. I think they're going to exceed expectations. I do picture Sam Pittman still being employed next year at the University of Arkansas. I know we can probably they'll clip this out and people will be calling me an idiot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think
that's
when
my
it comes down to it, I want to agree with you on that. I think I'm
yeah
gonna be right there with you.
yeah. I
Now,
think they've got a good. They're going to be okay.
elsewhere, also just to kind of throw out there on hogsports.com, Trey Biddy put out his depth chart. It's kind of a preseason, you know. I mean, it's kind of what he expects the depth chart to be. Encourage you to get on there. I can't remember if it's a free or pay, so I'm not going to go into details on it in case because I don't want to give away
I
something
think
that
we've
some
got a
people
pretty good idea anyway.
something that people pay for. But there's some that are interesting to me. There's some questions that who the second starting defensive end will be. There's some questions at linebacker. There's some questions, and one of the things he mentioned, and he mentioned some of them in his podcast today that was dropped today it's on YouTube, which that's free to everybody. He mentioned some of those things, and one of them is he thinks that Crawford has a chance to end up winning that right tackle position on the offensive line. He said he thinks that there still could be a chance where Crawford ends up winning that position over who's the
Black
transfer
and stock.
Blackstock, yeah, winning that over him. But he said that's still kind of a battle that's out there, and he talked about I think the backup quarterback would be a question. He thinks you know who will be second on that. So anyway, that's out there, and it's interesting to think about. Of course, Clint, we're only a few days away from fall camp starting. You know, it's probably going to start. I think Trey was talking about 31st this month, something like that.
You know, that is such an intimidating experience if you've never been through it to be a freshman going into your first camp and you got these seniors about to graduate college, they're grown men and you're coming
Oh
in.
yeah,
It is an intimidating experience if you've never been through it.
for sure, for sure. Well, Clint, last week, as I said earlier, we picked our fantasy football offense for
Yeah.
you know, and just to kind of uh go back over that real quick. I think I got it here.
You got it.
If I can get the page. You got for your team, you had Brandon Allen at quarterback, Cedric Cobbs at running back, Traylon Burks, Greg Childs, Hunter Henry, Dan Skipper, Denver Kirkland, Travis Swanson, uh, who was your center?
Swanson was my
no,
center.
your right guard. Sorry, Stromberg,
Yep, Stromberg.
Tony Hugo, Joe Adams, and Cam Little as a kicker. I had Ron Mallett, Fred Talley, Kobe Hamilton, Marcus Monk, DJ Williams, Bobby Williams at left tackle, Sebastian Tretola at left guard, Frank Ragnow at center, Grant Cook at right guard, Sean Andrews, my all-purpose. You had Joe Adams as your all-purpose guy.
Yeah.
I had Peyton Hillis, and I had Todd Latterette as my went back a few days there as my kicker. Um, we got some feedback, and most of it was saying that my team was superior, mainly
Yeah,
because my
they felt
offensive
like
line.
overall, it's like I said last week, I got you on the skill positions and you got me on the line.
And then,
And
and then a lot of folks felt like Ryan Mallett was pretty substantial
yeah, I'm just
over
I
Brandon Allen.
don't care what they say. I
One of
feel
the
like
shockers we got was the fact that Matt Jones wasn't picked at all. And
yeah.
as I think about it, I think it's very logical. I mean, when
No,
you
I
have,
agree.
if you're going out to play with that team, I want someone that's going to get the ball in their hands. And both the guys we picked, besides maybe if you throw Sterner in that mix, are going to be guys that get the ball in those players' hands. Another one, Anthony Lucas, was one that a lot of people were surprised was left off. Um, uh, Jarius Wright was another one. Some were surprised was left off. But other than that, I think it was pretty good teams, man. We picked out some good guys. So now we got to do defense. And the way we're going to do it, we just have a lineup here: two defensive ends, two defensive tackles, three linebackers, a free safety, a strong safety, two corners, a punter, and then we're going to do a hog wild position. Okay, this is a position that maybe can play multiple positions that you might put in there as a nickel, or you might put in there as a extra rush in, or whatever you want to do. Just another guy
Yeah.
you'd like to put in to be a creative on your defense. Okay. So it's kind of that's what we're thinking there. So I get first pick, right?
You get first pick and then I'll get the next two.
All right. Well, my first pick is going to be Trey Flowers
Trey Flowers. That is a terrific pick.
at defensive
Definitely.
end. He's probably my favorite defensive end we've had. Because I don't know if we've had a better one that stopped the run and rushed the passer better than him.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
I'm going to go with Jamal Anderson.
Good call. He would be my second.
Yeah, I was hoping that you were going to pick someone else and I could get him and Trey Flowers, but the man wreaked havoc. I think went number 8 overall to the Atlanta Falcons.
And he was similar. He could set the edge. He did a
Yeah.
good job of setting the edge as a defensive end on 4-man front, and he could rush the passer also. So he was a good, well-rounded guy. Who's
And
your
I tell you
second
what,
one?
I'm going to go with current Razorback Landon Jackson on this one.
Oh,
I know he's still playing, but so I'm going to go Jamal Anderson, Landon Jackson.
that's a good call, man. Good call. You left me with my two next on the board available, and I got to decide which one I want to go with. I'm going to go with Carlos Hall.
You know what? That was the other one on my list.
I almost went with Chris Smith because
Okay.
he's more of a straight pass rusher, whereas
Yeah,
Flowers is more as a versatile guy. He's going to rush the passer but Hall was a pretty stud pass rusher too,
it was.
and he could set the edge also. All right. All right. Next, I'm going to go with
You get your pick of the D tackles.
Darius Philon.
Man, he is on my list. Um, I'm hurt. I'm hurt right now.
Yeah.
I'm hurt because that's a good get for you.
Yeah.
You're getting a stud defense, but I'm going to go with Marcus Harrison.
Oh, good one. Yeah. I hadn't thought of him. Yeah. Good one.
Yeah. And how about a little Keith Jackson Jr. clogging up that middle? Both guys, cup
Yeah.
of coffee in the NFL, and didn't have great careers in the NFL, but definitely stellar college
Well, that's a
career.
good pick because Keith, I think, would be more of your three technique kind of guy, or
Yeah.
like a nose. You get him down there on the shade. I'm gonna go with a guy that I think worked his way into being one of the best defensive linemen we ended up having. And I'm going to go with Armand Watts.
That is a good, I got it. That's a good pick. I tell you what, neither one of us, Dietrich Wise got left off.
Yeah. But once again, remember, Dietrich Wise in college was really good, but he wasn't standout. And he's
oh yeah, no,
become more
I'm
of a
just bringing
standout
up.
in pro.
I also had Cameron Ball. I had Cam Ball on my list too.
Yeah.
I
I'll tell you
have
who was on my list that I didn't think you would pick. That if you picked Watts, Watts was my number 2. Malcolm Shepard. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I remember Malcolm Shepard.
Now he played some D end also,
Yeah.
but they ended up moving him to like a nose, and he was so quick off the ball. He disrupted things up the middle. Now he wasn't the best run stopper because he would go upfield a little much, but he was fun to watch for sure. Okay, so I got
That gives
Armand
you first pick.
Watts.
Yeah, it gives you first pick at linebacker, I do believe.
I'm going to go with the man, Quentin Caver.
Quentin Caver. Okay.
Going old school a little bit as far as what we're doing.
Lee, is this and I get 2 back to back.
Yep.
And I would like 3 back to back to back.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Dre Greenlaw as my first pick. And then I'm doing this just to keep you from getting the entire Bermuda Triangle. I'm gonna take Montreal Spate. Because that's what we had. That's what they call Phylon, Trey Flowers, and Spate. The Bermuda Triangle. You going over there, you're never seen again. So yeah, I'm gonna take Montreal Spate.
Dude. I want to tell you. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to tell you just yet. So I get 2 here. I'm going to put this guy right in the middle, Jermaine Petty.
See, he's on my list too.
And then, even though he was only here for 1 year, I'm going to get some pass rush out of him, and I'm going to get some outside linebacker out of him, but I'm going to go with Drew Sanders.
Okay. All righty.
And I left a big one of my favorite Razorbacks out that you're probably going to get right here.
Well, I know who you're thinking about, and I'm not going to take him. Man, there's quite a bit on this linebacker list just because of who
I know, man. I got 2 more on my list that I would love to have.
I can't not say Grant Morgan. I just can't not say Grant Morgan.
Not even on my list.
I'm sorry, but I can't not say. I mean, man's the heart was the heart and soul. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Grant Morgan, Dre Greenlaw, Spate.
All right, now you got free safety.
Free safety. Safety is hard because Arkansas is safety U, but it's going to start off with Kenny Hamlin.
I figured you were going to go there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with. Yeah. I'm going to go with Michael Grant. Versatile guy, played some corner and safety, but did a great job at safety. Yeah. And a lot of people will be surprised by that pick. Probably you probably didn't have him on your list, did you?
Nope, not on my list.
Okay, but I bet you had this guy. My strong safety is going to be Kenoy Kennedy.
I did have him. He was on my list, but I appreciate you leaving me Cameron Curl.
Yeah, you can take him.
Yeah. Cameron Curl be my next pick. So now we're to the cornerbacks. And I'm gonna take Batman.
All right, now I get 2 in a row.
You get 2 in a row, and then I get what's left, and I get the first wild card.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with David Barrett.
All right.
Maybe the best corner to play for Arkansas in this time. And then I'm also going to go with Chris Houston, who I think was also.
All right. I'm gonna take Lawrence Richardson.
Okay.
Yep. So okay, now this right here is where I can't believe I can't believe this guy fell here. Here.
I know who it is.
Oh, you know who it is. Go ahead and tell me who my pick is, Travis.
Tony Bua.
It's Tony Bua.
Yeah.
Like I was like, it took bumper pool playing 6 years or 5 years, a full 5 years of college football to beat his all-time
Tackle
just
record.
tackle record. Took him 5 years to do it. Part of the reason he came back for that super senior year. So yeah. So Tony Bua, I can't believe he fell there.
Well, I'm going to go with one of my favorite all-time Hogs for this position. And there's a lot of people that are getting left off of this position right now. We probably could have went a couple deep on this position. Because I'm not going to say Zach Painter. Not going to say Jeremiah Harper, which, they were perfect for that. I'm going with the Walls of Jericho.
Yeah, I remember you loved
Jericho Nelson, man. I loved Jericho Nelson. And he had some hit. He'd come up, play linebacker, play safety. So he could play safety, he could play corner, he could play in the nickel if you want him to. He could blitz, whatever you want him to do, the guy can do it. So I'm going with Jericho, and then that means I get the first pick on punter.
Yeah.
I have a feeling who you're going to take, but I'm going to take Jacob Skinner.
Jacob Skinner. You can have Jacob Skinner. Because I'll tell you what, I'm going to take the greatest athlete to ever play punter at the University of Arkansas. The man throws lasers, phasers.
I'm writing it already.
Reed Bauer, my boy, Reed Bauer. Woo! My boy, my dude, my dog, Reed Bauer. #1 overall pick right there. Reed Bauer.
Another big one was Dylan Breeding. You remember him?
I remember Dylan Breeding. I was also thinking Sam Loy.
Well, Dylan Breeding and Jacob Skinner are like the two leaders in the like average punts per year, like average distance or whatever. But anyway. Okay, so that's our teams. Let's go back through them. Clint's team, defense, starting at defensive end, Jamal Anderson and Landon Jackson. Defensive tackle, Marcus Harrison, Keith Jackson Jr. Linebacker, Dre Greenlaw, Montrell Spate, Grant Morgan. Free safety, Ken Hamlin. Strong safety, Cam Curl. Cornerback, Ahmad Carroll. And Lawrence Richardson. You put teammates together there.
Yeah.
Punter, Reed Bauer. And Wild Hog position, Tony Bua. My team is defensive end, Trey Flowers. Carlos Hall. Defensive tackle, Darius Philon and Armand Watts. Linebacker, Quentin Caver, Jermaine Petty, and Drew Sanders. Free safety, Michael Grant. Strong safety, Kenoy Kennedy. Cornerback, David Barrett and Chris Houston. Jacob Skinner pointing to the sky. It's my punter. And the Walls of Jericho, Jericho Nelson. Now let's talk about some people that were left off. Who's somebody that we didn't pick that you're kind of surprised got left off?
Bumper Pool, Scooter. He was one for sure.
How about Sam Ojebutu?
Yeah, Ojebutu. And I really thought like when it came to like just could have played multiple positions. I really thought like Hayden Henry.
Yeah.
Probably he gets because of what Grant Morgan was, he gets underrated, undervalued, I think a little bit.
Yeah. I'll tell you
I mean,
another one of my favorite Razorbacks. I put him at defensive end, although he played some D tackle too. Was Jeremiah Ledbetter?
yeah,
It was on my list that I ended up not. I mentioned Chris Smith earlier. Chris Smith was, and he had a good pro career. He had a long time in the pros. I mentioned Malcolm Shepard, Caleb Miller
Caleb Miller. I was
on my
thinking
list.
him. Jeb Huckabee had a career.
Jeb Huckabee was another one. Yeah, he would have been defensive end, is what he
Yeah,
played mostly. Um, Montreyic Brown at corner, one of the best cover guys we've had. Um, I mentioned Dylan Breeding. The two wild hogs I put down were Tony Bua and Jericho Nelson. I figured I was going to get one of those guys, and I would have been happy with either one of them.
Well, and I was going to take Hayden Henry had you got that. I didn't,
Yeah,
didn't know how it was going to shake down, but Hayden Henry was a possibility. And then
yeah,
Bumper was still sitting there, and I'm like, how do you leave Bumper off the list? And Grant, well, I don't think he was the most talented. His intangibles just make so much.
yeah. His heart. I mean, but I mean, I'll tell you, I didn't have him on my list mainly because there was a lot of him and Greenlaw in college. There was a lot of things they did that ended up hurting us in games a lot too. And you got to remember with Grant, Grant and Bumper both got a lot of stats because of the type of defense we played.
Yeah.
They played in a defense designed for linebackers to make tackles. They only had 3 linemen in front of them, and it was designed for them and those linemen didn't go upfield at all. They stayed, took on blocks. That was it in order for the linebackers to make the plays. And so their stats are a little more padded because of
Well,
that.
but they made them.
To me, like a Bua's stats are, even though Poole beat his record, Bua did it, and it wasn't, the defense wasn't designed for him to make the tackles. He was making them from a lot of a couple of different positions and things like that. But yeah, man,
Still, and his draft story is still one of my favorite because he got drafted by the Miami Dolphins, and
yeah,
once that called him, he goes, "How do you feel?" He goes, "I feel terrible." He goes, "I should have been off the board way before now."
yeah.
So yeah,
Well, Clint, those are I can't pick a winner on that, dude.
I think I got you. I'm gonna give it to me, but I mean, we'll let the
Well, I'm
folks
gonna
be a
say
judge.
different. I mean, I
And as
think
much fun as they had tearing us what we got wrong last time, they should have a blast with this one. Tell us who
uh
we left off.
yeah, I don't know, man. My linebacker core, like I would put that my linebacker core as the best maybe to ever play at Arkansas
Yeah,
in some of them because I mean Petty, Sanders, and Quentin Caver. I mean those were some studs, dude. Those are some those are some men.
yeah. But Greenlaw, Spade, and Morgan, yeah.
But you got to remember, Greenlaw more so as a pro than he was at college.
Well,
he's a lot
really,
better as a pro.
well, he's looking really good.
He looks real good, yeah. Uh, all right, so that's the team, folks. Tell us what you think. Who do you think's better? Okay, what's your opinion? Who do you think's better? Who do you think's the better team?
And why is
Uh,
it mine?
and yeah. Why is it yours? Well, because you're blind. But anyway,
What?
Clint, another thing I gotta throw out there. It's sort of a what you watching thing, but instead of are you watching, Cobra Kai's last season came
See,
out.
I haven't started watching it yet. I don't want to watch. I just because I know when I start, it'll be over. Plus, I've been playing football. So
Well, I'm done with, it's coming out in 2 sections.
no,
So I'm done with the first section.
yeah,
And it's pretty intense, dude.
yeah.
It's pretty intense. It's
A lot of karate fights.
yeah, and it's they're going to that world tournament. And that's the big thing in this one and trying to coexist and all, and of course Kreese had got out of prison. So there's that. And it's pretty it's intense, man, and they leave you on a pretty good, you know, they leave you in a spot where you're like, crap, now I gotta wait for more to come out. But anyway, it's fun to watch. It's a fun show. Anyway, well, folks, thanks for listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Like, share, comment, comment, whatever order you want to do it in. We want you to let other people know about this. Comment, let us know which team you think's better, which team would win. Which team, you know, who did we leave off? I know there's some other folks we left off, man, that other people are gonna be like, why didn't you say so and so? Why didn't you say so and so? Okay. Tell us about that. Let us know. Okay. And we'll see. Which one do you think is gonna be the one we get the most? Can't believe you left so and so off. You're not listening, are you?
Oh, I've got a text from work and I was looking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So who do you think is going to be the person that most people say, I can't believe you left so and so off?
Probably, for some reason, I've got a feeling like Scooter Harris.
He might be.
I really do. I think Scooter's going to be, because there's going to be those like me that's like sees like Grant's intangibles and like he's worth being on there. And then some people look at just the talent and maybe they're going to be like, well, this guy had so much more talent. Monteric Brown's another one.
Yeah. I think Dietrich Wise will be another one. Some people will say.
Nudie. I mean, he was he's another one. Nudie McLaughlin. Yeah, I think he's another one.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right. Well, folks, thanks for listening. Like, share, comment, subscribe. All that good stuff. Let us know what you think. And man, have a good day, Clint.
Thank you, buddy. Bye, everybody.
Peace out, folks.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no